Okay, today I am going to use something called Google Drawings to create a simple style tile that is sort of like a mock-up or a mood board, if you know what that is, that gives my client an idea of what I'm thinking of based on our discussion, what I'm thinking of in terms for their website, that I try to convey to them using color swatches, maybe some images, and maybe some pattern stuff. So to get started, I'm in my Google account, so I want to use something called Google Drawings, and it's kind of like hidden away here. I use Google Drive to do this. If I go into Google Drive and click on the little blue button, it says New, and scroll down to where it says More, and scroll to Google Drawings. That's what I want to use today. So once I do that, Google gives me like a lovely blank canvas that's the equivalent of a horizontal 8.5 by 11 page. By default, it's called Untitled Drawing. I'm just going to name it Styletile underscore 1, because as a general rule in everything web there are no spaces between words, there are only underscores and hyphens, so I always label my stuff that way. Once I've got that in there, I'm just going to hit return, so that that is the name of the document that I'm working on. And in Google Drawings, I like using it because I can save stuff as a PDF. Nobody knows that I drew it in Google Drawings. I can access this anywhere, like, if I'm in a library doing something and I don't have my computer with me, I can do this from anywhere, on the fly, wherever I am. All I need is internet access, and, well, I need to remember my password. So basic drawing tools in here. That's another thing. Like if you're not familiar with Photoshop or Illustrator, this is a really great way to make a basic mock-up using really, I don't know, you could use like Paint or whatever freebie you have, as long as it allows you to save it as a PDF, because that's what you're going to share with your client. So what I'm going to use today to create what looks like background stuff, I'm going to use the Shape tool. So there's a bunch of stuff up here in the little toolbar, and I'm just going to draw out a rectangle. And by default, Google fills it with this color blue, which is not what I want in there. So I'm going to remove the border because that's yucky. I don't want it to have a border. And I'm going to put in a custom color. Gray is nice. Once I do that, I don't know, that's not very interesting. I can add as many shapes as I want using that shape tool. So I'll go back to the little shape tool, draw another rectangle over here. Let's pretend my website is going to have a sidebar, and again I'll fill that with some contrasting color just so it looks a little bit different. I can change the sizes of these things. I'm not making rocket science here, it's just like a simple mock-up, just to give my client an idea of what I'm going to do in their site. I also like to use the shape tool, go back to it, to use the rectangle tool. If I hold down shift while I draw a shape, I can do what's called constrained proportions, so that stuff comes out, well, if I'm making a circle, it'll come out to be a circle. If I'm in circle shape, if I'm in the rectangle shape, it'll come out to be a square. And this is what I use when I create color swatches. So today, I don't know, I'm just going to look through here and see what I have and work with what I got. I think I have a picture somewhere in there of Brussels sprouts, so that's the picture I'm going to use today. And I'm going to change these out, holding down Option. I'm going to click and drag to quickly duplicate this, and I'm going to use that little red alignment line in the center just to help me line stuff up. You notice that when I push these little squares closer to each other, you see little alignment tools between each square too. I'm going to select them all by holding Shift, move them up. I want to make one more, but I want room for it. Might not have room for it. Okay, so we'll leave 3 for now and stick them over here. And I realize, wait, they're the same color. Is that sidebar thing that I made. So if I want to change that, I do the same thing with the paint bucket. I'm going to change these colors out later because they're not going to go with what I'm putting in here. Okay, great for now. So if I want to insert an image, I can search for an image that I can, if it's labeled for reuse, I got to be really careful about what images I use. And I don't use images that are copyrighted. A lot of times if I work with a client, if they provide me with images, I'm assuming they own the copyright to them. Occasionally they don't. But it's really important to choose something that is free to use, that is not protected by any copyright, just to sort of protect yourself. So I'm going to click on the little image button, and I know in here, oh, scrapbook photos. Okay, so we're going to use Brussels sprouts, select, and we're going to put that in there. And again, this is just to give my client an idea of the look and feel of things. This looks kind of squished, so I'm going to pull it down a little bit. When I'm resizing a photo, I usually hold down shift and I pull on the corner because I want to constrain proportions and not make things look distorted, or like I said, this for some reason looks kind of, heck, it's just Brussels sprouts. I could get away with it. If I want to crop something, what I will do is I will hold down my control or command key, and actually it might be alt key, and go here to crop image. And once that opens up, I can make sure this image is not overlapping anything else. Looks good to me. Hit return and use my alignment tools. Okay, so I got a lovely picture in there of Brussels sprouts. That's great. If I want to add another image into here, just going to make sure I don't have anything selected when I do this. I could click on the little image icon, go to search, and let's say, I don't know, I'm going to put a bagel in there. So it says results shown are labeled for commercial reuse with modification. So, well, hey, maybe if I crop it, it'll be okay. And I think I've used that particular image before. I'll search for it later and make sure it's not protected by copyright. So for now, I'm just going to select that one. Whoa, hey, that's huge. So again, I'm going to hold down shift. I'm going to reduce the size of it. Kind of line it up with my other one. I'm going to crop this so it's not like yuck. So terrific. Bagels. Again, I'm going to hold down my command key or control key, crop image, and adjust those little crop bars. This is probably not what they mean by modification. But close enough. Okay. So double click on it and it's in place, and there we have a very basic style tile. I don't put any text into this. I don't have to. It's just to give my client a basic idea of the look and feel or the mood of their website.